Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. Say hi. It is January 4th, 2018. I was about to say 2017.
It's gonna take a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm still writing on papers. January 4th, 2017. So it happens. But guys, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Clint. Know what I mean, enjoying this wonderful, wonderful cold weather out here in snow.
What up, though? This is Willie Styles. Just got back into the snow. It was a harsh transition from Florida to Michigan. So bear with me. Bear with me as I get back used to this.
Right.
It's a reality check, huh?
Exactly.
Cold.
True reality check. Cold one. Cold world one.
Yes. No, it was that I was just telling Clint, he said his daughter went out to go play in the snow and she said she was cold. I said that wind was disrespecting.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's blowing the snow whichever way it wanted to blow it. Like we had an official snow day. I done saw about I live on a one-way street and I seen cars get stuck and try to go. I seen the truck just these two cars were stuck trying to get through the street. This truck that was parked pulled off like there was nothing, and they just sitting there like, help us. And then he's like, I'm out.
Wow.
Like he was like right next to the one car and just maneuvered around them and kept it pushing. I said it got places to go.
Yeah, right. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
No,
I got these little cars. Yeah, y'all got these little cars knowing damn well y'all don't got the 4-wheel drive. Y'all can't make it through snow. While y'all was trying to go nowhere, but they was trying, and then they had to back out. They all had to back out the way they came and go down the main road because my street is a side street. It's a one-way. These plows ain't even hit these streets, let alone any traffic that's down my street that is, okay to drive. You can follow the same, like the path of the car that started out. So, they was just stuck and they just backed out. I was like, all right, like deuces out, because you kept hearing them like, I'm like, just back out.
These one of them days where you feel me, we knew it was coming. They told us it was coming. You feel me? You just get your stuff prepared and you stay in the house all day. Yeah. Only people I seen outside was little kids, knocking on my door, trying to make some money, shovel my front.
I wish some came knocking on my door.
Right.
Yeah, we got some hustlers out here.
That's why
they got $10. We'll do your front for you. I said, nah, I got my little brother. He gonna do that. He gonna do that for me.
That's exactly why I miss West Trenton crackheads. I appreciate the West Trenton crackheads. I miss y'all dearly because once I moved out South Trenton, there was no knock on my door. For no $5, I shovel your shit. They don't care no out here. They're not about to knock on your door and ask you for shit. They're in their own house and they ain't shoveling their shit. So South Trenton crackheads are a whole group of themselves and they ain't trying to help.
Oh man, we got a good topic tonight.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. If you guys are listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio. You want to join in on the topic, phone number is 657-383-1155. And if you are on Twitter and you want to join in our conversation, at us at GFT_radio. So we're going to jump right into this topic. Who came up with this topic? Was it you or Willie?
Actually, it was my. Yeah, I brought the topic from a conversation I had with a buddy of mine. Actually, with Damon, he was on the show last week. He had called in, and he hit me up and was telling me, we were just discussing a couple of different things, and he had mentioned this topic, about the youth and about kind of the predicament that that they're in. All the issues going on these days, and what they got to look forward to, and so we crafted up this topic. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. I think it's a good topic, good thing to discuss.
Yes, especially coming to the New Year, getting something talking about our baby. So
Right, our future out there.
But so. A couple of the questions that we like Corey said, we're just going to talk about like what our youth are like dealing with, what we see them dealing with, some of the issues, you know, especially with a lot of social media, you get a lot of youth sharing a lot of their feelings about things and stuff that they're going through on their social media accounts too. So we just want to talk about like what where they're going and like what are their future looking forward to, like what are their futures headed to as far as what they're going through, how they deal with things and things like that. So if you guys listening on the topic, definitely call in and share your thoughts. But the first question we're going to throw out there was, what hopes and dreams do young people look forward to? So guys, what do you think?
Y'all want me to jump in first?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Go for it, brother. Go for it.
Well, I think it depends on which age group we're talking. You feel me? I feel like it's more pressure. Let's talk about the kids that's in high school, about to graduate, you know, about to go out into this world, to the workforce, or into college or whatever. I feel like the pressure is on them right now because, you know, we see the state we're in as far as politically, race relations. We see how how especially in poor communities, the disparity between the rich and the poor is getting worse. You know what I mean? So I feel like right now the pressure is on them to start closing that gap. You feel me? I feel like we kind of, the generation before, I don't think as a whole we let them down, but, you know, we kind of did. You feel me? We didn't set them up. You know, it's you know, our current state is the result of us. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So, and the ones before us, and the older generation. So it's like we really set this stage for them right now. So I believe, you know, it's up to them to really get out there and bridge that gap. It starts with understanding themselves, understanding our situation that we're in. You feel me? Getting more involved politically. I think this generation coming forward, or these new voters, need to be way more engaged politically than, let's say, my generation was when they first started voting. Mm-hmm. You feel me? We should be way more knowledgeable. You know, the information out there, there's so much information out here now. So it's like, for me, it's really no excuse. So I actually hold them to a higher standard than what I would even hold our generation to, because, you know, we were still part of that old regime, that old school of thought. You know, we had to change. About time we got into the world and seen the real world, that's when it's you know, our eyes start opening. And then we like, oh, wow, it ain't really like what we thought it was. See, now, the generation coming in now, they should already know. You feel me? Because it's, you know, with the internet, social media, you know, so much more information out there now. I feel like, you know, it's time for them. You know, they got to step up to the plate. You feel me? To me, it's no excuses for them. And then as far as the younger kids, you know, we have to start grooming them better. We have to catch them better. Catch them early. You know what I mean? Get them out of this ghetto hood mentality. Just because you poor and live in the poverty don't mean you have to act ghetto, act trifling, act ratchet. You know what I mean? So that's where I believe it should start. You know what I mean? With the ones that's about to go out into this world, it's on y'all to make a change. You feel me? They'll have no excuses with all the information out here. And, you know, get to it. Get to it.
Yeah, I
go ahead, Will.
Oh, go ahead, Sonny. Oh, I was about to say, I kind of feel the same way when it comes to, you know, preparation, right? You know, I think knowing what's going on and knowing what's really out there in terms of the job markets, the housing situations, you know, all of the different social issues that are going on. Preparation is everything, and the high school and college students that are, you know, that are out there, or college age or high school age, they're old enough to know, right, that these things are coming, prepare for them. And if they're not taking the steps to be prepared, they're doing themselves a disservice, right? You know, and I think that, you know, it's especially when they're high school age, it's a parent's job to kind of push that agenda to them that, hey, you need to be prepared to take care of yourself, so you need to do X, Y, and Z to do this, right? But, you know, being 14, 15, 16 years old, You know, I mean, you would hope that they're either preparing for college or trying to prepare for a job, knowing that's that next step. But once you're college age, you should know better, right? You should, should have common sense to know that you need to either be doing something right now to prepare yourself for real life, or you need to be planning to do something to prepare yourself for real life, whatever it may, what shape and form it may take. You know, college isn't for everybody, but you got to do something out in this world if you want to survive, if you want to make it, and it's too many examples out there of what to do and how to do it. So, pick one or do things the way you want to do them, but, you can't just, lay down and hope somebody picks you up. So.
Yeah, hold on, guys. I believe this is Damon calling. Hold on. I just want to get him in while we're talking.
All right.
GFT Radio, you're on the line.
Hey, this is Damon.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, good brother?
Hey, I'm at work myself, trying to make that dollar.
That's what's up.
So,
That's what's up.
Yes, I'm the troublemaker that started this topic, I guess.
That's fine.
I like to piggyback on a lot of what y'all said. I'm thinking in my head, as I'm driving to my next stop, that they need something realistic to fall back on. I think they fall back into the norm of what's easy for them, what's easiest. And they don't have a realistic expectation of the world on. They just think they can, such as sports. Sports are entertainment.
Yeah.
They think everybody can be an entertainer, everybody can play some ball. But realistically, that's just a fantasy that only a few can make it. You have to be exceptional to make it in that industry. Those industries, I'm sorry. I mean, even the people that we see on the court, field, or whatever you want to do, or the video and TVs, these guys have outlasted even some of the other people, as far as might think somebody who is a garbage rapper, singer, entertainer, basketball, football player, you think they're garbage, but somehow they're better than you. They don't have that realistic expectation of maybe trying to go out and get a degree, finding something that may fit them. Maybe not just a degree, like Will said, that not colleges isn't for everybody, but find something that fits your mode that you may be able to support yourself in the future, or not just work some 9 to 5 making less than minimum wage.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I feel like, especially with the world it is now, everything is on social media. You see these people that are celebrities not really doing anything to be a celebrity, but just being celebrities outside of like their normal basketball players and things like that, or the people that went to school for acting and stuff like that. I think they should want like more than just that. Like I think we should try to gear them towards like learning a trade, or if they don't choose to go to college and learn a trade, or find something that they're passionate about and push them towards doing that, and then kind of getting them to be like more of an entrepreneur. If they do something that could potentially make money, show them how to push at it. Help them or find a way to get them to learn how to nurture that and make it grow into something that they can say that they took pride in learning to do for themselves, and now it's making them money. They don't have to deal with the standard 9 to 5 or have to make it the quick money by like trying to be a celebrity or things like that.
Yeah, I mean the whole trying to be a celebrity thing. We all know where that leads to, and especially with the kids who want to be either basketball stars or rap stars. It's definitely something you have to get your kid to understand. That it's not a pliable trade. It's not something that everybody's going to get to do and do successfully. Right? Everybody can't be rich off of that, and because I know my oldest son was like that. He was like, oh, I'm going to be a basketball player. I'm going to be a rapper, and I didn't want to discourage his dreams, but I also need to keep him grounded, right? So I definitely preach like, look, you got to get these skills together. You got to get this. You got to have something that you can do that's reachable and attainable, no matter what the situation is in the industry or in with your body or whatever the case may be. And so, you just got to keep them focused on what's real and what's not. I think one of the main things we should stress to our kids is trade, having a skill. That's what I talk to my little brothers and my sisters about. Because some of them don't want to go to college. College is not in their plans at all. But I tell them, in order to take care of yourself, you feel me, and be, you don't want to just be out here lounging around, going from job to job, hustling and busting. Like, that ain't no way to live, living paycheck to paycheck. You feel me? Go out there and get you a trade. Learn something, have you a skill set to where it could transfer wherever you go. You could be an apprenticeship under somebody. Like I say, there's nothing wrong with being something as simple as a mechanic.
Mhm.
You feel me? Learn that trade. Be a mechanic. Work under somebody. Go somewhere. Learn that thing. Go to school for it. Work under a business. Go to a business. Work, and then you could transfer that to your own business. You can have your own clientele outside of that, and then start making more money. It's plenty of ways to get to that money. There's plenty of ways to get to that money. I learned that myself. I started my own little transportation little thing. You feel me? Plus with the notary and all that. That's the simple things you can do. There's always ways to get in where you fit in. You feel me? You just have to, I think one thing we should teach our youth is to think outside the box. Don't trap yourself inside a box. Because, in our community, that's basically what we're talking about. We teach our young boys, you got to play sports, be like you said, be a entertainer or something. Like, we're trapped in that box.
Right,
and for no reason.
Exactly.
For no reason, where it's so many ways to get to that money, and that we think that just aren't either attainable or they think isn't cool. It's like that's nonsense. That's nonsense to me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked about doing a show on financial literacy later on sometime. But that's another thing. You feel me? Teaching the importance of how to manage your money. Because I know a lot of people who make more money than I do are broker than me because they don't know how to manage their money. You feel me? They living above their means. You feel me?
That's just funny. I just talked to my niece and my daughter about that. I was just telling them, like, I'm talking about certain people that we know that just had never managed themselves properly, like they living with relatives because they can't seem to lay on their feet. And it's not because something's going on. It's because they're like wanting a steady job or getting a job or keeping a job for that matter because their excuse is, I woke up late. It's always something to why you can't get to work, and then you lose your job like, I don't know what to do. You got to actually, if you get a job, work and show up. And then be responsible with the money you have, because then you can't, like, I know how many people I know that work and that have you live paycheck. Well, I live paycheck to paycheck and just don't have money and don't pay no bills, or just irresponsible with paying bills. They don't even pay the right bills. They know you don't pay rent for 6 months, but you're paying your PSNG. You about to get evicted. Like, that's crazy. And it's maturity. Something that don't make sense.
That goes with maturity.
So you definitely got to teach them how to manage their money, how to pay bills, and be responsible and know how to prioritize, because you don't want them starting up their own little business and then they don't have the money to show for it because they just doing stupid things with it.
It goes back to remember when we did our show, Are the Youth Feel Entitled?
Mm-hmm.
That's another issue we have. You feel me? They feel like to go back to piggyback off what you were saying about, always having an excuse, not being to work on time. That goes back to, you feel me, not just being lazy, but also feeling entitled. It's like people are running a business. They don't have to hire. Nobody has to hire you just because of who you are. You know what I mean? Like, nobody owes you nothing out here in this world. This is a cold, cold world out here. Life is not fair. You feel me? You do not know what tomorrow holds. You feel me? Everything could be going good one day. The next day, shit can hit the fan. You feel me? You have to be prepared for that mentally. You feel me? And a lot of us aren't prepared for that mentally, for that change. And when that change, you're going to fold under that pressure. And a lot of our youth
we don't train them to deal with that pressure. You feel me? Their pressure, all they're thinking about is the streets a lot of times, especially in these hood communities. You feel me? They thinking it's street, and don't realize, that life is only limited. You feel me? You can only be out there in the streets for a certain amount of time. At some point, you're going to have to transition. If you can't transition, if you know what I mean, if you don't have the maturity to transition, you feel me? You might as well. What we talk about being stagnant. What happens when you stagnant? You die. You feel me? That's basically what's going to happen. You're going to get left behind. Then you're going to be out here doing crazy stuff just to feed yourself. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? It's not, you have to have to prepare them for a cold world. Life is not fair. You feel me? Fair is where pigs get ribbons at. You feel me? That's not life. You know what I mean? That's true. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, my thing too is, kind of going off what you're saying about the being in the street. Their thought process is, everything is about, trying to be hood, trying to be real, and all that kind of stuff. And so, I think a lot of times kids, especially younger kids, and I've even seen this with kids as young as middle school, and some of the like events that I've done with like some volunteering and some hosting we've done. We hosted schools and everything, and talking to the youth and seeing what their thought processes were in terms of getting into technology. But anyways, the thing that I've even seen at that young of an age is that they don't know how to see outside of where they are. Right? They are either in a disadvantaged neighborhood or a disadvantaged situation at home, and then the environment that they're around, it kind of shapes their thinking, and they never realize that they got to think past that. They got to see that there's a bigger world outside, right? And I think that a lot of them, they get stuck that way. I mean, when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, I've seen it at that time, people saying things like, oh, there's no jobs out there, or there's no reason to get a good education because we'll never use this information and that kind of thing. And I mean, yeah, I don't use everything that I learned in school. I mean, there's some classes that, prior to this day, I still have not used not one ounce of it. But I mean, being in technology, I've used the math, I've used the science, I've used, even some of the sociology and all that other kind of stuff, but a lot of times people are not thinking past where they are. So you're talking their block, their neighborhood, and definitely not past their city. And so they think that the buck stops there, just because you may live in an area where the factories are going, or, like in Detroit here, we got the automakers, and auto suppliers, more and more suppliers than the makers, but, we have the plants and all that kind of stuff. As soon as a plant shut down or they're laying off folks, people get all in despair. And it's like, there's more here going on than just auto plants, and there's more going on than just, auto-related services and businesses. So, you can't just look at what's happening in your neighborhood and feel like everything is for naught, or everything is out the window. The opportunities aren't all out the window. There's other industries in this area. There's other companies in this state. And then you can go out of state and find work, whatever the case may be, but people don't think, like you said, one of y'all said, thinking outside the box. That's the problem.
That's why but that's also why I encourage you. Like, there's a lot of people that, like, these kids don't get to see outside of where they're from. They're used to their neighborhood. They're used to the city. They're not used to anything else. This is why I also say that it's good to take your kids outside of where they're used to. Like, take them on places. Like, it don't have to be expensive vacation, but take them elsewhere. Let them see that it's life outside of here, or where they grew up. Because, you got people that never, like you. I think it's a good thing. It's an advantage for kids that see, other than the cities that they grow up in, and go elsewhere, because they get to see where they can possibly go in life. They don't, and those are more likely to want to do something outside of just staying where they are. They want to do something bigger and better. They want to go They want to travel. They want to go see the world. They want to go do bigger and better things, or just do things that are different that they're not seeing on an everyday basis. So I think that's a good part of it too.
Yeah, basically what it is what they feed in their minds. You feel me? I think one of the issues we have is, TV, music, social media. We letting those things control how our kids think, how they view the world, instead of really actually going out there and living it. And like you're saying, travel, see different things. I know with my daughter, even though she's 5, I control when she's with me. I control what she watch. I make sure we do different things. Like she expect with me to do some type of homework. And all my homework is is different. Sometimes it's just reading to her, reading. Maybe I may be reading like it's a book I'm trying to finish now. It's called The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. For one way to think, well, why are you reading that to a 5-year-old? Like she can't. In my mind, like, she can comprehend some of it. You feel me? She can understand something, and then she's real inquisitive, so she'll start asking questions. What is that word? What did that? So then I could have different type of conversations with her. You feel me? Instead of her watching some YouTube cartoons and stuff like that all the time. Daddy, is this real? And right now I could talk to her about real life things, and that's what my dad did with me. You feel me? My dad would always sit me down, my mom too, always, and talk to me about real life situations. You feel me? Don't sugarcoat anything. Don't try to, placate to your children. Sometimes you gotta be live and direct and straightforward. And that goes back to parents. I think more of us. I want to get into mentoring. I think more of us should mentor. You feel me?
I definitely did that when I was. I haven't done it recently, but I did it when my daughter was small.
Yeah, and when I say mentor, I don't mean I know I got a couple friends. They coaching, like they coach little league or football, stuff like that. Like to me, that's cool. But to me, like I always say, like I was just saying earlier, like that's still in that box.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's still keeping them, like, get outside that box. Take the kids to some museum. You feel me? Take them to the zoo. See different things, man. Take it to, like, I remember when we was in high school, one of my favorite things, we went on this class trip to New York, and it was like this huge building. I forget the name of it. But it's all this technology stuff, all this brand new technology. And it just was like, wow. It was awe-inspiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't even do trips like that no more.
Yeah, they don't even do trips like that. That's why I feel like we should start doing. I would take my brothers and sisters. I went there before too. I took my youth when they was younger. I would take them for a ride. Take them to a big city because my mom used to do that with me. You feel me? So you get outside your city, see bigger things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I used to tell them, like, you see that big building right there? You know what I mean? You don't got to worry about trying to get a job in there. You can own that. You feel me? Think big. Mm-hmm. You feel me? You can build a building like that. You know what I mean? You don't got to get confined to our small city, this little our city like 7.5 square miles. And there's a lot of people in this city who really never ventured out of it. You feel me? The furthest place they probably went to is Philly. You know what I mean? They so you're so restricted by your mind. You know what I mean? So like one of the biggest things for the youth is like we gotta expand their mind, make them think bigger than what our generation did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tell my kids that, as well, is that, just because whatever you see us doing, or as far as you see us going, you gotta be able to see about doing better, even better than this, because this might not be enough in the future, or this might not be all you need in the future. So you got to keep working, at succeeding and doing your own thing too. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but you may need to do your own thing. But like you said, you gotta look into ownership. You gotta look into what true wealthy is. That kind of thing. So go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, all of that. Questions. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Damon, first. I'll ask you after you, John.
I'm sorry. Real quick, it also falls back on the adults and parents in their life. What kind of work ethic do they have? Do they just see mom, dad, aunt, grandma, grandpa sitting on the couch watching TV all day doing nothing? Or do they show them they need some work ethics to go out there and find something that they like? I mean, not everybody is doing anything they like, but do they see the work ethic just to make it to your job on time? Like, some people just think they're too good to ride the bus to work. I mean, growing up, I didn't have a car, so how did I have to get to work? I mean, I couldn't rely on my mom and my brothers and family all the time, so I had to take the bus. Some people are too good to take the bus down the street to even try to feed their own family. They just think they're entitled, always asking for rides. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to take that extra step to be better and to show our kids they have to be better and work harder sometimes just to get what you want.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree. I know a lot of people that say ain't no jobs out here, but McDonald's and Burger King, I'm always hiring. And they're like, ain't no jobs. I'm like, well, if you really need a job, they hire. Well, no, I ain't working there.
Right.
But it's a job. Like, you don't have a job. Do you understand that? If you have no job at all. And working at McDonald's is beneath you, but you have no income. So, okay. I don't understand logic that's not a plausible job for you. But I was going to kind of say what Damon was saying, kind of. My question was kind of geared towards that because I looked at the second question and it was just saying, are the issues they face our problem to fix today and their problem to resolve tomorrow? I feel like as parents or mentor or someone that some of these kids look up to, we should have some accountability on some of their issues because if you're raising a kid and like you said, you have to be an example. And you have to kind of show them what a good work ethic is, going to work, not making excuses, showing up. Outside of doing the daily routines in the house, are you sitting around doing nothing and not trying to get a job, playing PlayStation all day and not trying to find a job? Like, if you're not doing anything, all they see is you doing nothing. So why would they want to do something? Because you're getting by somehow, so they just think that that's okay. So you got to kind of have to teach them. You have to teach them, like you said, work ethic. You have to, show them, like, just help them, like, push them towards those things. Okay, so you don't want to go to school, so I want you to get a job. Like when they're older, like after they graduate high school, it's like, I don't want to go to school right away. I want to go get a job. Okay, so here's the type of jobs you can get, and let's help you and show you how to fill out a job application. So you know how many people don't know how to fill out a job application?
I know, right? I've heard about that. That's terrible.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I worked at the library.
How to do that.
Yeah, I worked at the library, and there was so many people, young and old, coming in there that didn't know how to do a resume.
Yeah.
You feel me? And they were trying to get, when we was there, it wasn't our job. Like, we couldn't do the resume for them. We could just direct them to where to go. As far as on the computer, set them up with the templates or whatever. And they would have to fill in everything themselves. And like it was so many of them who you like, it was baffling to me. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And they would have to. It got to one point to where it was this guy. He would just come there. You feel me? He had to be discreet about it because and that's like a public place, so he really not supposed to charge. But he would, like, all right, I'll do y'all resume, but y'all gotta pay me for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how he would make money, just helping people with their resume because they had no idea.
Yeah.
And it would be people that try to be slick and come over there, keep calling you back and forth. But how does this look? How does this sound? Like, we really can't tell you nothing because, if it's not right and you come back, well, you told me to do this on my resume and they said my resume, then we're liable. So, like, you really couldn't help them.
That's the thing. You can't even. A lot of people that do have jobs don't know how to do resumes. And if you have kids in your house and their kids that need help doing a resume or help with a job application, you can't help them.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and that's the thing is like that's another thing that we need. I mean, I was talking to some friends of mine. We were talking about all the types of, you know, job trainings and skills trainings and things of that nature that are needed out in this world. But you know, I think basic life skills is something that you know, we need to train not only kids but some adults as well on, because like you said, that, you know, there's kids out there and some adults who don't know how to write resumes. There's some that don't even know how to you know, write a check. You know, some don't know how to pay their bills. Some don't know how to do. I mean, there's so many life skills that people are missing. You know, and they don't know how to do these things. And so that's some things that you know, we need some community services out there to pick up on and do these workshops.
Because I work for the state of New Jersey, and in one of the agencies I work for is the Department of Labor. We have one-stops all throughout New Jersey. All the one-stops have classes that people can go to that's free. You go to the unemployment thing and you're trying to find jobs, they help you. They have people that help you with resume writing. They do all that. But like I say, a lot of the people you get are not just young people, they're older people too. And these are the people that had jobs and still don't know. Like a lot of this stuff is so new to them. And like I remember when I was going through my time of unemployment, I was on welfare, and they had this Work First program that I went to. I learned Microsoft training. I learned Microsoft Office. I learned how to write resumes. And even now that I work in HR, and you have a trainer person, and I had him look through my resume, and he said, and like we walked through the steps of how you do a resume. Because even me, I've done resumes before, but I always ask for help because there's new things that you realize that these people look for. And I know for me, for my kids, I want to be able to show you how to do this because this is important. This is how you get a job. This is all about presenting yourself on paper and then learning not only how to present yourself on paper, but go into the interview and present yourself properly because this is their first impression of you. So, I mean, there are programs out there. So a lot of people don't take advantage of them because they are there.
Can I make mention of something?
And a lot of people got pride issues. I've been working 30 years. Why I need to go to this for? You need to. Because if your grandchild comes to you and asks you how to do something and you don't know how to do it and you can't even offer them to where to go, that's a problem. It's not just their fault.
Can I make mention of what you just said?
Right, yeah.
Because there's a lot of people I see that go to interviews with graffiti shirts, pants sagging,
yes,
dirty, unkept, and I've always been raised to present yourself as if you want that job. How far are you willing to go? Like the dress, grooming, make sure you smell right, make sure you look kept. I mean, not necessarily always have to go to.
Interview.
I'm sorry.
I said, and also don't smoke before an interview because that smell stays on.
Oh yeah.
You.
Oh yeah, that's a disgusting habit. I mean, it's for people who are non-smokers, you smell that, and yes. It's not always the best habit to have. Maybe you can wait until after your interview. Cologne doesn't mask everything, and I've seen people do that. Like who's watching these kids go out on interviews to? I mean, just because it's McDonald's, you can still make yourself look presentable. Like this is still a profession, even though you're going to work at. Not saying McDonald's is a degrading job because it's a job, but you still have to be presentable and professional in all given places when you're working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I went to a fast food restaurant. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not. Oh, go ahead, Dan. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I was saying that my experience today. Oh yeah, my experience today was I went to McDonald's and they're unkept. I'm like, you're at work. Why are you sagging your pants? Nobody wants their food served with underwear, no matter what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I know. I used to. I went to this. We always want to support. I always support black business, right? A little soul food spot around my way called Pitt. So this was the last. It was like a couple weeks ago. It snowed. So I guess one of the workers there, he put the salt down, shoveled out in front or whatever. So he goes back in, and he's sitting right to where you order your food at. He got his shoes off. And, like, he's, like, right in the – first of all, it's not that much space in there for you to order. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's more space back there in the kitchen than it is out there where you're trying to order your food at. So I go in there, he's standing right there, and I'm like, he got his shoes off, you know, he on his phone, and, you know, the owner or the dudes back there that's cooking, and nobody's saying nothing to him. You got to squeeze, he got his shoes, and when I say he got them off, it ain't like he got them sit to the side under him. They're just on the floor in the way. You know what I mean? So, you know, me, like, I kindly, you know what I mean? I like I ain't see the shoe, and I just kindly kick the shoe towards it while I'm walking, like, oh, my bad. You feel me? Like, you serious right now? Yeah, like, you serious right now? You feel me? Because now, like, because, you know, I want to support, but, like, now you're taking us for granted now. You feel me? But, like, that goes to what Damon was saying. It's like, how do you feel me? I can tell if his friend didn't own his business, he has nowhere else to go get a job.
Yeah. Because
his attitude and the way he presented himself. You feel me? Like, that's not how you conduct business. You know, and like, and ultimately we don't know how to really conduct business sometimes. You feel me? Is that, you know, we got that look me out brother mentality.
Yeah.
You feel me? That has to change. You know what I mean? So, like, that really irked me. You know, and nobody checked him. It wasn't until more customers start coming in until he was like, oh, all right, now you want to get his stuff together. Like, no, my brother. Like, you supposed to, you know what I mean? Whatever you was doing, you was tired. You go in the back and sit down. You know what I mean? I should not be seeing you out here with your shoes off while you working.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like, that's just so unprofessional to me. You feel me? But when you bring stuff like that to you know, to the forefront, like I said, it's an example you have to set. You feel me? Because the customers that, like, he was an older gentleman. You know what I mean? I'm 35. He looked to be at least about 45 to 50.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Younger people came in. They was like in their early 20s, came in. You know, now they see that as an example from an older man. You feel me? They may think it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, man. You know, I kicked this shoe. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, you gotta know better than that. It's like you gotta set an example. You feel me? If the kids don't have no example, that's why when you go to a McDonald's, you see a kid with his pants sagging.
Yeah.
You feel me? His drawers showing. That's why when the kid going to an interview, he not well kept. He just got finished smoking a cigarette. Some people, let me tell you how. Like, listen, I know from experience, bro. You feel me? I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. You understand? I went to a job high as a kite one time for an interview. You hear me? I'm talking about high as a kite. Like 3 Dutches right before I went to the interview. This is when I was young. You feel me? Like, I didn't care. I didn't know no better. Guess what? They entitled me because I still got the job. I got the job because I know somebody, but you feel me now? At that time, you young, ain't nobody checking me on it. I think this the right thing to do. You feel me? So now, in my ignorance, I go back and I'm telling it, I'm thinking this. I'm going back to, man, I got the job when they're high as hell, man. So what example am I setting for the next dude?
Yeah.
For the next that's going to look for a job. He think it's okay. Clint got a job. He not knowing that I know somebody. That's the only reason why I got the job.
Yeah. I remember I went to a job interview an hour late. It was not my fault, but I should have called an earlier bus, but I didn't, and the bus I was catching was late. I still went to that job interview. Like, I still went. And it was like, man, you are out. I said, I know. The bus had issues, and I started to go back home, but something said just show up. I didn't get the job, but they actually were surprised I still showed up. The manager was like, I'm so surprised you still came. I said, well, I'm usually early, but that day it didn't happen. But, I did my interview.
From that experience I had, so now when I went to other jobs after that, and technically I'm more qualified than some of the people working there who got the job, and I don't get the job, it's like, damn, I'm looking at my boy, like, how you getting all these jobs? And his qualifications don't even match mine. I know it don't. You know what I mean? It's because he knew how to present himself in an interview. You know what I mean? He knew how to handle that process. I didn't.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm going in there entitled, enabled. You feel me? I'm not. I mean, my dad used to always tell me, dress up, man. Put on the top, man. I ain't putting on no tie. You know what I mean? You better take this button up, top button unbutton. You know what I mean? You feel me?
You know,
I got these. That was my mindset then, as I was young. I'm talking about 19, 20.
Get the interviews too.
Exactly. That's the one thing. Yeah, go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is one thing people gotta remember too is it's not only about, you know, presenting yourself, it's also about the fact that you're literally in a competition. That's what you gotta remember. You're in a competition with other people. Like you said, Clint, you know, sometimes it's not about, you know, everything that you know or everything that you've done before, but if you have you taken the steps to impress them and to say the right things and to, I mean, like you said, interview skills is everything sometimes. You know, I mean, I've gotten jobs where I didn't have the skills that they were asking for, but I knew how to talk my way into that situation because I knew how to I knew how to interview. I was wearing a suit. I might have had my fresh new haircut or whatever, you know, beard trimmed up. And then the guy that came right behind me or right before me, he probably had all the skills, but was stinking or was probably, you know, smoking before he went in or whatever the case may be. So you're in a competition. So you got to remember, you know, it's not only about, you know, looking a certain way or, you know, and I've heard people say, oh, you know, I don't want to conform and I don't want to look like everybody else, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not about that. It's not about conforming or it's not about, you know, it's about, you know, making that impression so that thing is you gotta be able to get in the door before you can start, you know, wanting to be yourself, you know, and you know, I know a lot of people that I've talked to in the past about, you know, being in corporate America. You know, I've heard everything from, you know, oh, I don't want to have to sound a certain way, or I don't want to have to, you know, blah 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 this or blah 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 that, and it's like, well, that's fine and all, but the thing is that once you get in the door, you can switch it up however you want to, but before that, you gotta impress that.
Hold on. You gotta wait them 90 days and then show up.
Well, you know, but still, you gotta get the door first. You see what I'm saying? You know, you can't come to the interview, you know, shucking and jiving. Whatever the case, you want to be, you know, trying to be real and trying to be that N-word or whatever the case may be. You can't do that. You know, you can't do that at the interview, and you can't be, you know, whatever slacking off with the clothing or come in smoking or whatever the case may be. You can't be like that and then expecting them to just hand you the job. Like you said, yeah, sometimes you might know somebody or whatever that might work out in your favor, but a lot of times people ain't trying to, you know, see that, man. Ain't anybody trying to deal with a person like that. So you gotta do what's right to get in the door. Get yourself in the door first.
Exactly.
Yeah. If anything, I'm gonna play this. My boss interviewed very well for her job, and when I tell you she don't know shit, she don't know shit. But she got the damn job because she talked a good one, and they thought that she knew. But when she got there, she sat around a little bit, and then we realized that she ain't no shit. But guess what? Her interview went spectacular. It's like, so it happens. Yeah. People interview well.
And you know why? Because she was taught that.
Yeah.
You feel me? She was taught that. You know, it probably was reinforced. I know, you know, and then it's like in school, the original high school I started off going to was in like Pennsylvania. You feel me? Predominantly white. You feel me? Mm-hmm. It was something like what Willie stated earlier. Even as a freshman, they was teaching us like basic life skills there. You feel me? Etiquette and all that type stuff. You know, when I transferred back to, you know, Trenton High, Tommy Black Ghetto School, you know what I mean, a lot going on. They didn't have those classes. You feel me? They wasn't trained that way. You feel me? So then, you know, coming from type of areas, you know, a lot of parents, they just as ratchet as anybody.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
Like the kids don't have no real example. You feel me? So, so now your mom, your dad, they don't have those interview skills. They can't teach you. You feel me? It's like they can tell you, but I mean, like, they have no example. They have no visual example of it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like I said, it ain't everybody, but it's a lot. You feel me? It's more than need be that don't know.
That's why I think as parents, we should at least hand down the knowledge of our kids as best as we can. Like I told my daughter, I said, I'm gonna teach you how to start, paying bills and what you should do as far as financial wise, especially when you go to find your own apartment, like what you gotta look forward to, because I don't want you to be, and that's one thing my mom taught me. Like, she didn't particularly sit me down and teach me stuff, but we never went without. Like our essentials, we made sure, like we never had our lights out. We never had to worry about getting evicted, none of that stuff. And I knew that my mom was responsible with paying bills, so I kind of followed her lead in that way. Like, I was determined to never get evicted because that wasn't part of the way. Like, I felt it was the ultimate embarrassment moment to come home and it's eviction notice on your door. Like, that's not cool. I don't want to be down there at welfare or every other program that's trying to get help and beg and plead and explain to them why I ain't paying no bills and why I need your help and stuff. Like, it's a certain situations where people get in that situation, I understand. But if you're one of the people that's always down with these programs trying to get help, then you are irresponsible because you can't blame, I had to pay this, I owe this. Something you did was a problem, and I want to teach my daughter and my son that this is what you need to do. Make sure that these bills are paid, and if you need help, you say something before it gets worse. Like, always talk to your landlord. Always talk to them. If something happens, talk to them, because when you don't talk to them and they don't know, then you cause some problems. Like, I don't want you living back with me once you move out. But I'll be here, but I'm not going to be a crutch. So I need you to I'm going to teach you to be responsible. And as parents, we need to teach our kids to be responsible, looking for jobs, helping them do all this stuff.
This is one thing. Now, I want to ask y'all this. You feel me? Because it seems like in the black community, I believe we may have touched on this before in the previous show, is that we are so quick to when our kids get a certain age, to kick them out. Oh, you got to go out there, not kick them out, but, you know what I mean, like, you got to be out there, you know what I mean, force them out. Like, when they about 20, 21, 20, force them out, where in other communities, you know what I mean, it's not really like that. You feel me? They more into like, pulling their money together still until, and it's like, they're not, how should I put it? It's a specific term for it that's escaping me right now. You know what I mean? But it's basically kind of like group economics. Like, all right, listen, you feel me? We're not going to figure out on your own until we know you completely ready.
I wasn't ready, but I wasn't doing it.
And that's how most people. That's how it goes in our community most of the time. Like, when you get of a certain age, you know what I mean, we're told you got to go, you got to do this, and then we look down upon if somebody's still living with their parent, they 24, 25, not knowing other communities do this. The kid's still working, still responsible, he or she. Some ethnic groups, they don't even let their daughter move out until she's married.
Yeah.
Right. So this is my take on that. So I have a love-hate relationship with that style of parenting. I understand where the preparation in that comes from, right? In terms of be prepared before you walk out the door, right? So, and that means being completely prepared, right? So that those communities or those cultures and those societies, they say, okay, you go to school, you get your trade, you might get your degree or whatever the case may be. You continue to live with your parents, and some of them, they go so far as to have other family members living in the same household, in the same community household at the same time as well. So you got parents, grandparents, maybe even an aunt and uncle, that kind of thing, plus the kids, right, and including grown children. So the thing is, it's the perfect way to make sure that your kid is completely set, ready, can get out there and really be prepared, and they and know that they're going to be successful. So I do love that part about it. I definitely can appreciate that. The one thing that I guess in my situation and from where I've from where I stand and where I've been through, the one thing I don't not that I don't like about it, but that I've done differently. That I know I've even done differently, and I've said to my kids, you turn 18, it's time to go. That kind of thing. Putting a time limit on it is that I know that I've done what I need to do in terms of getting my kids prepared to be self-sufficient. I know what I've the goals I've told my kids I want them to strive towards. I know the things that I've done to put them in the position to make it out in this world, wrong or right, or however, if they did it or they didn't. I say, okay, these are the steps that you need to take, and I've put these resources in front of you, and I've done things with you, and I've taken you places so that you can feel comfortable, So I've lined things up enough for you to do this. Same thing my parents did with me, same thing I've seen other people's parents do with them. So my thing is, if you've had all this lined up in front of you, you should be prepared and ready to go. Maybe not at 18, but at 21, you should be ready. Not that you're going to be, not that it's going to happen and everything is going to be, perfectly set by the time that happens. But if I put this into your mind and I say, look, you need to be self-sufficient by this time, or you need to be ready to be in the world by this time, I feel like it gives you that sense of urgency. You see what I'm saying? Unfortunately, in the society and the culture that we live in America, and a lot of white people and black people, the way we have our kids, the way they're set up, is that if they know that they can just sit around and not sit around, but if they know that they can be at home with mom and dad until they 25, 30, 35, they might just take advantage of it and just do it, right? I feel like you're not going to have that sense of urgency to make sure that you're ready, because I don't put it in your head like, look, I'm putting your ass out at 18. You need to make sure that you're ready. You see what I'm saying? So
I definitely
agree. I feel like it's giving them that sense of urgency to do what's right and to be prepared for that. I'm a firm believer in the quicker you out my house, the faster you gonna get to self-sufficiency. Yeah. I can't allow you to just placate and be satiated by everything I'm doing for you, and you don't take full responsibility for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do I kick my kid out at 18, 21, 23? My older kids, a couple of them are still at home. I just moved, and I was getting a place. I even told my my ex. I said, look, I'll make a place for my middle daughter who just turned 18. She's 19 now, but just turned 18, so she can move in or be in here too. Because the thing was, I know she's trying to go to school. I know that she's already working a job and then was getting a second job so that she could pay her bills and take care of herself and that kind of thing. I know she's not ready because she's got things she needs to take care of. I'm not about to have her out there in the streets just because she's 18. You know what I'm saying? I know she needs that additional help, that additional time. So I think you got to play it by ear. I think you got to tell a kid, you got to nurture the child to make sure that they know that they need to be at a certain point in life at that certain point. But you do have to take a step back and say, okay, I see you're not ready, or I know that you need this additional assistance, or you need this additional help, and give it to them, because they do need that. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, my situation was sort of like what Willie was bringing up. My mom let me stay with her until I was ready to leave, but she sat me down and said that long as you work and you're not out here doing some dirty stuff, you're allowed to live here until it's time for you to leave. She didn't give me no time frame. She just said, as long as you contribute to the house, you're fine to live here as long as you want. I'm not pushing you out. She allowed me to work. I paid rent. It also gave me a chance to travel and see different things, go out and do these different things until I was 23 and moved to Florida. I mean, that made me self-sufficient enough where I can pay my car note, pay a little bit of rent, and she wasn't putting me out on the street. I mean, it made me a little bit more prepared than the average 18-year-old getting put out on the street because their parents want them to just be out their house for most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And also, I had two prime examples. My two older brothers. I'm not going to name them off, but one of them was a knucklehead, and the other one, my middle brother, he actually just told me it's hard out here. It's either sink or swim. And that stuck with me as I got older. It's like, you know, being realistic. You know, my parents is not going to be always my safety, you know, my safety net. If I have nobody else here but myself, I need to know how to swim, or I'm going to sink and drown in this world. No, I don't want to. I do like living, so that always stayed with me to motivate me to keep on, you know, keep doing the right thing to make sure I'm not out on the streets.
Yeah. That's what my mom, I remember I graduated a year early, so my mom basically was like, I went to school and I started working shortly, maybe 6 months while I was into college, and she told me I had to pay her a certain amount of money every month. So that's what I did. I paid her. She didn't have to bug me about when it was due. As soon as I got that money, it was on her pillow when she was waking up, or next to her bed when she woke up. I always paid her. And when I really started working and started because that back then I was going to school full time. I had a little part-time job. I wasn't working that much hours, so I didn't have that much to do. But when I got older, I just started contributing to groceries, cooking, cleaning, doing all the other stuff. So I got this sense of paying bills, but not like real bills. And then I paid my phone bill. I had my first little on my own little cell phone, so I paid that. So that was me learning how to pay certain bills and when I had to have them due to my mom. So that was kind of what I was doing. Eventually, me and her got into a tiff, and she put me out. That's when she put me out. I want to say I wasn't ready, but I kind of was. But to me, I wasn't ready. But I went into a place that got some help, and then I got my first apartment. Ever since then, my mindset has been to make sure that I always have a roof over my head and pay my bills. That's why, with my daughter and my son, I want to teach them how to do this. I know my daughter, she ain't trying to live with me. She already told me she getting our first chance she can because we can't. Me and her, I love her, but we live in the house when she grown. I'm always telling her she got to get out, but knowing she probably won't go anywhere. But anyway, I'm in that process, I want to also show her, because hopefully by then she'll be going to college too, but show her how to pay her bills and prepare her for living on her own. I wouldn't necessarily push her out, but I don't want her to get complacent because, like I said, I have our family history, not necessarily my immediate family, but in our family, people get complacent and they don't have jobs. They don't have consistent jobs to take care of themselves. And like I said, they always come up with excuses to why they got to go back and live with other people and not pay bills there and then hop from house to house to house. And she knows this. So I told her, I don't want you to be like them. Be responsible. And while I want you to be responsible, I'm going to teach you to be responsible because I don't want you to be hopping from house to house to house to house to house. I want you to learn to fend for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you got me and you. But I know that her mindset is not to stay with me. So I want her, before she goes out, to learn for herself. Same I would do for my son. And anybody else that will want to take advice from me, because I think that, like I said, when it comes to maintaining the household and paying bills, I think I do great. Sometimes I have my challenges, but I always make a way where things happen and that, we don't go without, like my mom taught me. So I don't want to push her out when she's 18 because hopefully she's in college and at a campus and learning. So she won't be out at 18, but when she's ready to go, she'll at least know how to pay her bills, how to manage her money, and take responsibility and know that if she goes into a landlord situation, that you have to pay. If no, I can't pay, you have to pay, so you have to be responsible enough to pay. And when you get those rough patches, hopefully not, I'll be there to help, but I'm not going to I'm not going to be your crutch because I want you to be responsible,
Yeah. With me, I think it comes down to mentality. you know, and you know, like Willie said, rules, how your parents prepare you. You know, I remember I was like your daughter. Once I get 18, I used to tell, I'm out. I'm gone. You feel me? When I turned 18, you know, I went to college or whatever. Just really wasn't for me. It wasn't, and then, you know, I mean, my dad was sick, this, that, and the third. So when I came back home, you know, so I had like 2-3 jobs consistently. You know what I mean? I always worked. But there have been times where, you know, that's why I say financial literacy come in too. I wasn't always good with my money. It wasn't just going out there spending, and it was also trying to take care of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when it came to me, I was short sometimes. So, you know, it got to the point, as far as staying with my parents, me and my mom got a place together. My mom came to me because, you know, she knew I was responsible. She knew how I worked. You know what I mean? Let's go get a house together, this, that, and the third. Hindsight is 20/20. It really wasn't a good idea. You know what I mean? Because at the time, you know, I'm like 20 at that time. So at that time, it really wasn't smart for me because I was overextending myself, you know, and, you know, I was working too hard and not seeing nothing for it. You know, at that age, you know, it was just like paying bills, taking care of my little brothers and sisters. At that age, it was just like, all right, I'm doing too much. Like, I'm doing too much for everybody else and not myself. And it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of set me back.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of set me back. But the like I said, the thought process was, you know, when I came back from college, you know, my dad was like, I had to stay with my dad for a little bit at first. First thing he came to me with was a bill. You know what I mean? Woke me up out my sleep, huh? You ain't going to college, huh? You got to pay that.
Right.
Facts. I mean, that's exactly what he did, huh? You got to pay that.
I mean, I don't think no kid should be living in, like, and I get it. Once you're an adult, once you're past the age of 18 and you're living in your parents' house, you should contribute. I'm not talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but you should be contributing because you understand that your parents are paying for the house.
Yeah, and it was
you should be contributing something or working or going to school, do something.
And it wasn't no, like, sitting around. You know, I remember one day, you feel me, like I had went, like when I first got back, I went like 3-4 days job hunting and nothing happened. So the 5th day, I was like, you know what, I'm chilling, man. I don't went out there, I'm going to wait for somebody to call me back. So what I think? I'm going to sleep in. Man, 9:30 came. Oh, what the hell? What the fuck? Dad was walking threw a glass of water in my face. Man, you don't get up?
Yeah,
what you doing?
Your dad was no nonsense.
Yeah, he was. What the hell you doing? You better go out there and get a job. Go look for a job. I done went out there. So what? You ain't got one yet. Guess what? That 5th day, went out there, came back home with a job. And it was on and popping from there. You feel me? That's you know, that's how I was raised. That's that mentality. So that mentality never left me. Get up and go get it.
Yeah.
You feel me? You ain't got no time to sit back. So when it comes to them, came to my parents, they really never had after that. And then when my dad seen my work ethic, you know, because I already, like, when I was younger, I used to work with my cousin. He did plumbing, so I used to work with him. He seen my work ethic. You know, it was okay for me. All right, we'll give him some time. He can stay with us for a minute. He ain't had no issue because I know, because in his mind, he's like, he gonna go get it. First of all, he don't like authority, you know what I mean? And I know he want his own, so I know he's not just gonna be sitting around here laying around all day. Sometimes he may need a little shove, because we all need a little shove sometimes, especially at that age. You feel me? But he gonna go get it. It wasn't until when I got older, that was the crazy part. So when I got older, the situation kind of, things happen. Life happens. You feel me? So when I had to come back home again, you feel me? It was kind of like, it was just different.
Mm.
It was different. You feel me? It wasn't that same because, life happens. You know what I mean? I went sickness, identity theft, all types of crazy stuff that happened to me. Weird things just happen. You feel me? You wake up one morning, you feel me? $50,000 in debt? How? Like, where this come from? Who did this? You know, who did it and why? You know what I mean? So it was a different experience when you're older. When I was older, when I was younger, 20 to like 25, I wasn't really want no problem. It wasn't until when I got older, like 28, 29, and I had to go back home. I say like 26 to 27, 28, when I had to go back home. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it was just a different experience. You know what I mean? It wasn't that, okay, we going to see if you, it was more so like, damn, disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, dang.
Right.
You feel me? But that was also motivation to get back to it. To get back to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's also motivation. Can't sit down and just be all that self-pity. It ain't going to work. You feel me? That sense of entitlement, that ain't going to work. You know, that's why I tell my brothers, that's why I was stressing to my younger brothers and sisters. Like, listen, man, it's not going to come. It's like you feeling sorry for yourself. You know what I mean? Don't nobody, the world don't care. Don't nobody want to hear it. You feel me? Everybody got problems. Everybody go through stuff. Fall off that horse. You ain't dead. Get back up on it and make it happen. You feel me? Get back up and make it happen. That's one of the things. Like I said, you know, we could teach the youth all types of stuff. We could teach them financial literacy. You feel me? We could teach them everything. But if their mindset, if their mindset is a defeatist mindset or entitled mindset, they're not going to make it far. They're not going to make it far. I don't care how much skills they have, you know what I mean, how much so-called knowledge they have. Like, if your mindset, you don't have that proper mindset, it's just not nothing going to work. You're going to end up right in that rat race, that crazy cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and crazy thing is, what you're saying, work ethics. They need to learn good work ethics because last week, we had one individual at my job. I'm thinking the money I make, if I was single, I'd be balling, you know what I'm saying? But I got family and kids to think of, you know what I'm saying? Then this guy, little young cat, came in one day, left early. Then the next day, looked at my boss and said, "You know what, dog, I ain't feeling it." And just walked off the job and quit.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm just like, this is a story that's going around the shop now. It's like, that's the ongoing joke with us. Like, I ain't feeling it, dog. You know, we just look at each other like, I ain't feeling it, dog.
Wow.
Like, like some days, like today it's cold. I'm sorry. It has to warm up to be cold. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it has to warm up to be cold. So, you know, today I'm just like, I ain't feeling it, dog. I don't feel like going out there. You know, but we know we got families to take care of. We can't just quit a job, and unless you're just a lunatic.
Yes, every day I quit my job. In my mind, I'm like, fuck this place. And I come back the next day. Every day. As soon as I get a call, like, fuck this place, I'm tired of this shit.
Only way you quit a job like that, first of all, that's kind of unprofessional. But if you got something else, if you already got another job, I can see you doing that. I can see somebody doing that. But you have to have something lined up. You can't just walk out a job like that.
Without no other job, yeah.
Yeah,
this guy,
you really can't. Now you can't use that job as a reference no more. They're not about to refer you. They're not about to give you no positive review.
You might not get unemployment because you quit. You ain't get fired.
Oh, you definitely not getting unemployment. Not here.
Like,
right. The backstory is...
Yeah, especially... Yeah, and I told you I work, so that claim comes through. You quit. You ain't. That's why I say every day I quit my job in my mind.
his backstory is crazy. He's from New York, and I'm up here listening. You know, I come in the warehouse. He's listening to a beat. I'm like, where you get that from? Oh, I got it off YouTube. Oh, you trying to rap? Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's what's up. You know, as he keeps listening to the same beat over and over. He just ups and quit a job. Like, you just got here. You just got to the D. What are you doing? I mean, that's too much entitlement and bad work ethics. You you at least give your boss a 2-week notice at least.
Sure.
Exactly.
Right.
He said he told y'all he wasn't filling them out.
Right.
That I wish I would have got that on recording. I could see that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta do that. Like you said, was he young?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's why. He's young. He immature. Like he probably wasn't taught no better. You feel me? He got that mentality that. Trust me, I had it. You feel me? Like, man, I can go somewhere else. ASAP. I'll find something ASAP. You feel me? I hope he get. I don't wish bad on him, but I need life to teach him a lesson. You feel me?
Right.
I need him to understand. He might think he's gonna get a job in another week or 2 or 3. Nah, I need it to be like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Because
then
you'll.
Unemployment.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me?
Let them struggle. Well, you know, and that's one thing I always say. You know what's going to teach. You know what teaches people a lesson is that fall. Once they take that fall, then they learn. Then they realize it's real out here. You know, and you know, I mean, I tell people that all the time. Like you really gotta struggle in order to want to survive. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people who do come from poverty or come from hard times, you know, that's why they do succeed a lot of times, is because they don't want to go back to that, you know, and they see they have to go on that upward, you know, they have to get upwardly mobile. They can't just sit around because they already lived through the example of what bad is. You see what I'm saying? And I went through that, you know, as a kid growing up, you know, hungry, poor, you know, not my whole childhood, but the beginning of it, you know, from like all the way from birth all the way until I was like 9, 10 years old, where, you know, I had to go through some things and to understand that, you know, this wasn't life. This is not the life I wanted to live. You know, things got better once I, you know, moved and got into a better neighborhood, and both my parents had good jobs and everything was going great, you know. But even then, I saw that there was still more that could be done, and that or further I could go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my parents they did. I felt like they were doing a great job. They did what they needed to do, but I was like, hey, I needed to get further. You know, I needed to be able to take it to the next level. You know, so that's where you definitely will get a work ethic, because you struggle or you go through a time when you know you're down and out and you know you want to have a better life. That's what's gonna push you, you know. So like you said, Clint, you know, that young man needs to go through some struggle. He needs to hit that bottom. You know, more than likely he quit that job because either A, he got somebody at home that's taking care of him, or B, he feel like, you know, no matter what, he's just gonna get the next job. Everything gonna be smooth. He don't have to worry about it. You know, all that kind of stuff. You know, and he probably ain't never really struggled before. So, or hasn't been in a situation that he had to climb his own way up out of it. You know, somebody either pulled him up or somebody pushed him out. You know, he didn't have to worry about it. So that's when it gets real. Is when it gets real. That's when they realize it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's the best way to close out this show. Got to wrap this up. We about to be at quitting time, so we want to let everybody be able to get their last final words out and share their info. Thank you, Damon, for giving us this topic, and definitely thank you for calling in. Yes, it's a great one. Yeah. Feel free to drop some more topics off to us and join in.
No, thank you for having me.
Yes. My last words is simply mindset. We gotta, you feel me? Like I've been saying all show, get out of that entitled mindset. Stop thinking people owe you something. You feel me? The young kids that's about to go out into this workforce in the college, in my opinion, the pressure is on y'all. You know, y'all have no excuse. There's too much information out here. You know what I mean? Holding y'all accountable, because it's up to y'all to close that gap. You know, this older generation, we're here to help y'all, give y'all advice, let y'all know about the pitfalls that may come. But at the end of the day, you got to go get it. No excuses. To the ones younger than them, I feel like them is on us as parents and as mentors, big brothers, uncles, aunts. You know, we got to catch them early. You feel me? So they'd be even more advanced than what these kids going into the workforce is. Let them know, get them out of this TV and social media, raising them. And, you know, that's basically it for me. You feel me? Like, I feel everybody is accountable, you know, and it's all about your mindset and work ethic.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Right.
Mindset and work ethic.
Yeah. Damon, did you want to chime in with your last thoughts?
Yeah, real quick, I learned something a long time ago. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A dumb person will repeat his mistakes. Ask anybody out here who's, for good or bad experience, what can you learn from their mistakes so you can make better judgments, decisions than they have. And knowledge, I'm going to bring back something old school. Knowledge is power. The more you know, you will see the world in a different place, in different ways. And it will baffle your mind, just like Clint said earlier, how stupid and stupidity actually runs this world, as Commander Cheeto is in charge right now. And hopefully next week we have our man show.
Yeah. Oh, here we go with that one. See, that's okay. Well, hurry, so I cut your mic.
All I gotta say is this: is that I think, like Clint said, like Damon said, and I think you said it too, Sonny, is that, you know, these kids have to be prepared. They have to have not only a mindset but also a work ethic behind it. They also have to have their goals in mind. Just do your research. I mean, it's too easy. There's libraries, there's phones, there's, you know, computers at schools. There's easy ways to do the research on what you need to do. I mean, you go out there, you can search for, you know, fastest growing occupations, search for job growth in the U.S. and see where the jobs are, see where the money is, see what, you know, where you can make a difference in your own life now, let alone in somebody else's life, and get out there and get prepared to do that work, you know, and then have something to fall back on if that doesn't work out. You know, find one or two different skills that you can work on while you're in high school, and definitely have a goal in mind when you're in college or college age. There's too many kids out there that already know. I mean, they did a high school survey and found that only 8% of high school students felt that they were getting the classes they needed to be prepared for college, or getting the skills they need to be prepared for life. So if you already know that you're not being prepared for that, go get that preparation. Go to those workshops and those trainings. Get what you need and make it happen. So take accountability for yourself.
And I think my final words will be like something similar to the lines of what he said. Go out there, research, look, parents teach their children, and there's resources. Go to your local one-stop to help you prepare for the future, especially when it comes to jobs and stuff like that. So thank you guys for listening to tonight. Hope to see you guys. Hope you guys listen in next week. Y'all want to give out your info?
We know what y'all can do. Hit me up on the kingstruth.com. That's my blog site. King's Truth on Snapchat. King's Truth 609 on Instagram now. That's a King's Truth 609.
Yeah, this is your boy Willie Styles. You can get me at Willie Styles everywhere. That's STYLEZ. And check out williestyles.info for all my links. And I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat. I'll let y'all. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Of course, I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Look up me on my personal blog, unreservedlyme.com. Thank you guys for listening tonight. Dame, do you have your info, or you're not giving out your info?
Work in progress. I'll get back at y'all next week.
All right.
Catch y'all in 7 days.
Night, guys.
Holla.
Bye.
All right. Thanks for calling, Dame.
Yes, sir.